Now we're going to go to our exclusive with longtime Wheel of Fortune host Pat Sajak. He's sitting down for his first interview since he had that emergency surgery that temporarily forced him off the show. Paula Ferris had a chance to sit down with him, and she joins us now with more. Good morning, Paula.
Good morning, Michael. Good morning, everyone. It happened so quickly. Pat tells me it came out of nowhere, and the pain sent him into the fetal position. When he was wheeled into that emergency surgery, he did not know if he would make it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the stars of our show, Pat Sajak and Vanna.
I believe that's us.
He's been manning the wheel for nearly 4 decades.
What?
Pat Sajak never missing a spin as host of the iconic game show.
We have $1 million winner.
Until a life-threatening health scare forced him to undergo emergency surgery last month. Longtime co-host Vanna stepping in at the last minute to fill Sajak's shoes. So tell me, how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling great. I've actually felt ridiculously good for several weeks. I've been back in the studio actually doing shows, even spinning the wheel, and nothing has popped. So I think it's okay.
Tell me exactly what happened.
My daughter Maggie and I, we took a walk in the morning, as we traditionally do early, and I came home ready to get ready to go to work, and suddenly I had this horrific pain in my stomach, and obviously didn't know what it is, but within 2.5 hours I was in surgery. I mean, it was that quick and that intense.
Yes, so set the record straight, because all we know is that there was an intestinal blockage. That's what's been reported.
Yeah. Well, the intestine, I don't know the official name of it. The intestines, and no one knows exactly why, they can get tangled up in each other, and then they start working against each other and actually killing tissue. And if you don't deal with it quickly, it'll kill enough tissue that it'll kill you.
You said they had to operate right away. Was it life or death at that moment?
Well, I mean, my blood pressure had fallen dramatically. They had to wait till it lifted a bit so they could do the surgery. Yeah, I mean, no one knew. It was tough on Leslie, my wife, and our daughter was with me, and they were, they didn't know. I mean, you go in and they don't know if I'm coming out.
Give me a word to describe the pain.
Excruciating. I mean, you couldn't do anything. I was in a fetal position, lying on the bed. So they tried to give you various drugs for the pain, and none was working. And then they gave me something. I couldn't even tell you the name of it. But suddenly I wasn't thinking about the pain. I just had these beautiful pastels and lovely faces coming out of it. And in the background, I could hear my wife and daughter talking. It sounded like they were a mile off, but they were right next to me. And they were talking to each other. And I remember thinking, not in a maudlin way, I think this must be death. This must be what death is like.
Wow.
And all I thought of was hearing their voices. I thought, boy, their lives are going to change now. And I felt badly for them. I didn't feel badly about dying. I felt badly that they were going to have to deal with the aftermath. As it turned out, I was just high.
It was nothing else, right? But in that moment, you thought this might be it.
Yeah, but it's an odd thing when you're in that moment. It wasn't, I wasn't heartbroken about it. I wasn't devastated by it. I just felt badly for those around me whose lives I thought were going to change rather dramatically.
And the doctors, did they tell you that is this a fairly successful surgery?
Completely successful. They're kind of at a loss to know exactly why it happened, but there's no after effect. As I say, there's no underlying medical issue. I don't have to change anything about my life. I'm as good or bad as new, and that's great.
You still have your wits about you, and
I still have my wits about me. They
Yes,
they didn't remove that, happily. So I'll be selling vowels for a long time.
What was it like you were out of work for a month. What was it like to get back into the studio?
In nearly 40 years, I've never missed a taping. So it was very strange, and it felt really bizarre to know that stuff was going on without me, and going on well without me. That really was troubling.
So Vanna has filled in for you.
Everybody's in the game.
What a trooper, and I'm not being condescending in any way, because it would have been well within her rights to say, wait a minute, this is not what you're paying me for, and this is not what I do, and I'd rather not. But she's a team player, and she was very nervous and not comfortable, because it's a role she's not.
And it happened very quickly.
Yeah.
She didn't have a lot of time to prepare.
The next day, she was in the studio taping, and she did a great job. So I did find she does like hosting, and I'm a little nervous, but not all that nervous. When I went back taping last week.
You'd be a great letter turner, Pat.
Yeah, thank you. When I went back taping last week, she brought in some homemade cupcakes, and I did have someone else taste mine first before I ate it. Just enough. I don't think she would do anything to me.
Did you give her any advice?
The first thing I said to her, I said, do not go on social media, because there are going to be people who are jerks, and they're going to say nasty things because they can communicate with you directly. They could be anonymous. So I don't understand why people have to be so nasty. She's out there doing her best. She didn't ask to be put in that position.
You've been doing this for so long.
So long.
Can you imagine your life without it?
No, only because I'm not a young man, and I've still been doing it for over half my life.
What an honor, though, to be a part of the longest-running television
Do you know,
show.
as I get older, Paula, I begin to, I now appreciate more than ever what this show means. And I don't mean to make too much of it. It's a game show, you know, I understand.
But it's not just a game show.
But it isn't. It's very evocative. People identify the show with raising families, with watching it with their grandmother. People come up to me almost every day and say, you know, I just lost my grandmother, and my fondest memory was sitting with her and watching your show. Or my kids learned the alphabet from your show.
How much longer do you want to do this?
I don't know. Look, I'm not getting any younger. A couple of years. At some point, you know, what I'm really sensitive about is I don't want to. I'd rather leave a couple of years too early than a couple of years too late.
Yeah. You'll go out on your own, right?
Yeah, at some point, and you know, I don't have a date in mind, but you know, 2, 3, something like that.
Go out on your own terms.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be hard to imagine a world without Pat Sajak at the helm of Wheel of Fortune. Now, doctors, they have no idea why this happened to him, but they told him he doesn't have to modify his diet or his lifestyle. Nothing has to change. He's no different, except he has a very large scar, and he jokes that his swimsuit modeling days are now over. But as you can see, he definitely has his wits about him. So funny as ever.
And no pre-existing condition.
No pre-existing condition. He says typically, the doctors say typically this happens to someone who's had multiple surgeries and they have scar tissue that's built up, but no pre-existing condition, no previous surgeries. Again, it just came out of nowhere. Luckily, his family was around. They got him to the hospital right away, and he had that emergency surgery, and he's alive today.
Glad he's feeling
Thank
better.
goodness.
Thanks, Paula.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.